Aleksa, that's Aleksa Asme. If you don't know the name, you will very soon. Hi guys. Alright, okay, so today I had a workshop at the City Hall for World Mental Health Day, and it's the one day a year where the government pretends to care about mental health. And from what I actually learned from that, what I took from today was, I realised that mental health, when it's often spoken about in public settings, whether it's events, poetry, any type of format, I always view it to be quite negative. It's always about the bad things about mental health. But mental health can have very positive sides to it as well. And one thing to achieving better mental health is through having the right support. And so the poem that I'm going to do today is talking about the support I wish I had as a child, and I'm talking about what I would say to my child when I have a child, because I feel like if you provide the people that you love with the right support, mental health issues would be on a very big decrease, trust me. So yeah, this is quite a preachy poem. No, it isn't. It's quite an extensive poem. I've actually got it on a shirt as well, so if you like the poem, you can buy the shirt. But yeah, so this is called When I Have a Child. When I have a child, I'll tell them I love them so much. Unconditionally, obviously. But I'll teach them that real love is found on the inside of oneself. So that way, when someone provides them happiness conditionally, and they end up in the position where they can't provide those conditions, they don't lose their self. And I'll teach them that real love should be executed intentionally. Self-love, by definition, means love to self, and health equals wealth. There are also factors that belong in that equation. Additionally, I'll tell them yes. Buy those self-care products. But make sure you don't forget that care when those products leave that shelf. Tell yourself positive things every single day, condition-free. Take those words in like the medicinal tea, inhale that steam till it fills you up internally, see. In order for something to reach your long-term memory, it must be repeated and exercised excessively, so repeat these what may at first seem empty words traditionally, until you learn to find wholeness in those words quite literally. Fake it till you make it. Repeat your dreams till your ideal reality is something you recognize visually. When I have a child, I'll say, hey, how was your day? Because I always remind them that feelings are okay. It's just a matter of watching who they say their problems to, because not everyone is there to listen and stay. Now, some may say they are there to stay, and I know everything in life eventually decays, so I'm not talking about if and when they'll go away, but how can you really tell the intentions behind their stay? And whilst we're discussing feelings, we live in this dichotomy where everyone is so desperate to feel something, but are dying for their pain to go away. I tell my child they're not out of control when their emotions are red, blue, or grey, and a bright primary colour can't appear every single day. I'll tell them that difficult emotions don't convey a sign that something's wrong with them like the media portrays. One thing that every single person in the world has in common is that they all have a degree of trauma one way or another, so why does every hurting person feel displaced? Like they don't belong. Like emotions are a disgrace. Now, I'm not telling them that anger must be up in your face, but feeling anger is not a sign of being out of place, or an emotion you must quickly erase, because if not dealt with correctly, it will only be replaced by other pain that holds far more damaging weight in case I haven't made it clear. Bottling it up is not the way. And neither is putting your whole life on display. The balance between the two is hard to obey, but I'll tell my child that everyone has a storage of emotions. They just need to find the right home base. When I have a child, I'll tell them to just grow up, because their childish selves are far more annoying than they know. And I can't stand a child crying to save my life, but I'll teach them what it really means to grow. I'll remind them that I was once a child not so long ago, and that a lot of what they go through, I already know. And so I'll understand. But I'll convince them that I'll still stand by them even when I can't understand. There will be so many different pressures that generations will demand, and they will hit rock bottom, but I'll be here when they land. I can't wait to give them earth lectures. Like when you go to the beach, you don't bring sand. Or what to do when their life doesn't go as they planned, because it won't. And I'm talking like I have all the answers when my first-hand experiences are really only a sand grain of the dirt life can throw at them. And they won't always have a helping hand, but I'll make sure they know how to wash that dirt off their hands. At least 20 seconds. All those germs will expand. See, time plays a huge part in how we deal with the struggles on this land, but so does perspective. And when I have a daughter, I'll tell her that beauty is subjective. Now, in one culture or environment, it may seem objective, but if she looks at it holistically, the only real beauty standard is reflective of everything everyone isn't. Irrespective of all of her beautiful features, the media will act as a detective and carefully be selective in highlighting flaws she didn't realize she had. And keeping up will drive her out of her mind effective immediately. And when I have a son, I'll tell him to not treat money as his best friend. And that success doesn't depend on the latest trends, because when it comes to his funeral, that money won't attend. And he will just get a load of gold diggers pretending to be his friend. I know at first the lifestyle will seem so addictive, his instinct will be to defend and try so hard to convince me that this life is actually one he recommends, and I will commend him for the courage in trying so hard to convince himself. I will warn him of the money chains promoting to be a lender of last resorts, because if he spends his whole life depending, that will resort him to the means of his end. When I have a child, and we argue, I'll tell them they're adopted, that they're not really mine. But really, there's actual truth in that lie. See, I may have helped design them, and then take the credit when they shine, but they will have so much divine individuality that has nothing to do with me. When I have a child, I'll tell them that they are enough. That they are more than fine just the way they are, that they can reach any bar if they just straighten their spine and accept the sign that the only thing they need more of is themselves. I'll tell them they're not broken when a few pieces don't align, and that their belief in themselves can cause them to redefine success as more valuable than yours or mine combined. I'll tell them to appreciate their life like it's their shrine, because if they can see the worth in living every single day, then their life will never decline. Thank you so much.